Okay, one lap of COTA in my Camaro. Just coming off of turn 20, accelerating up through the gears, crossing the start-finish line now, getting to about 130 miles an hour before hitting the brakes just past the 150. Get her down to about 38 miles an hour, making this turn. A little bit of throttle now, back on the throttle hard, full throttle, up in the gear, third gear now. Just pause the throttle, get it into the corner, and full throttle again. Follow it all the way out, accelerating up to about 105. For the entry into turn 3, and then just lift off throttle, tap the brake a little bit, slow her down to about 70, 80 miles an hour right there, accelerating back up to 80 here, letting the tire scrub, slow it down to 70, re-accelerate back up to 80, back down to 70 here, then back up to 80, and then hit the brakes a little bit, get her down to about 55 around this corner. Back on the throttle now, about full throttle here, accelerating over this big old nasty bump, coming up to about 121 miles an hour before hitting the brakes just a little bit before the 100 marker, and getting her down to about 38 miles an hour, slowest part of the course right there. Accelerating up through the gears, 2, 3, coming up to 4, get to the top of the hill. I'll be probably going into 5th gear here. Getting to about 145 miles an hour as we get down to the about the 175, 180 marker and hitting the brakes. Getting her back down to about 38 miles an hour for turn 12. Get back on the throttle here, full throttle now. Staying in 2nd gear, hitting the brakes and making the turn for turn 13 here. Back on the throttle a little bit, and then just slowly squeezing it and getting more throttle. So I'm full throttle right here and at the rev limiter, and then back down to about 40 miles an hour for turn 15. Back on the throttle, let it carry all the way out, up into 3rd gear, entering turn 16 at about 80 miles an hour, and just slowly accelerating all the way through to 18 here, where I'm doing about 90 miles an hour at the end of this here, and then this little short straight, get up to about 100. And slow it down to 70 to make turn 19. Back on the throttle hard again, going into turn 20 in 3rd gear. Hit the brakes, down to shift to 2nd, about 54 miles an hour, come around this corner. And back on the throttle hard, up through the gears into 4th, and across the start finish line.